said, get glad. This is the 11th episode of Three Ways to Say It. This your boy KC.
I'm Todd Carter.
And I am Ashley.
And today, we finna really get into some. Today we are talking about cheating. The topic that everybody knows something about. Even if you ain't did it, you know something about it. So we're gonna jump right into it.
Once we're deciding to be faithful to one another and you decide to, physically touch someone, no. Cheating is cheating, whatever you think it is. I don't know. It's hard to break it down because it could be like everything. It's mental. Cheating is cheating.
Okay, so I think cheating is when you are unfaithful to your partner, meaning where you are having a emotional or a physical relationship with another person outside of your committed relationship. Now, if you're not in a committed relationship and you're just kicking it or whatever, just whatever y'all have discussed, it may not be cheating. But when I think of cheating, I think of when you have discussed that we are an official couple and we're married, then I think that that's cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I guess my definition of cheating would be, like I said, if you are committed to someone and you decide to step outside of that commitment with the intention of emotionally or physically doing something with somebody else that you normally do with your partner. But instead of doing it with them, you do it with somebody else. So basically, just reaching outside of your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the basics. Okay. So let me ask this. Why do y'all feel like
I am so weak.
Why do y'all feel like the opposite sex cheats?
Oh, it's a lot of reasons why the opposite sex cheats. For one, I think anyone who do not value themselves cheat, because I feel like they'll just spread their body thin. When you have self-respect and integrity and you're in a committed relationship, you're not going to cheat. But if you don't have those qualities and things like that, and then you will, because it's going to be some type of insecurity that you're having, just something not right in you when you have to step out on someone else, because it's easier just to be honest and just tell a person what it is that you're really looking for, and so that you won't have to keep up with lies. So I just feel that anytime somebody steps out, that's a character flaw.
I think maybe in some relationships, that person feels like that they're not being fulfilled in certain areas, out of people not being fulfilled within themselves and just not being fulfilled in the relationship. Yeah.
Okay. and since I have to, since I did say opposite sex, I'm just gonna speak for the women. I cannot take up for the dudes today. Sorry. But I feel like that's what I mean, yeah. And when women cheat most of the time, now these days, I don't know. Some of them, they just like the men, they'll cheat just because they can. But on a regular level, if we looking at like studies and all that, most women cheat because their partner is either not emotionally available for them or not giving them something that they need.
Right.
And I think it's easier for men to kind of, find that little and then go on by their business or whatever, and then they'll be back to it. It's hard for a woman to sit there when they are just not getting nothing they need. I feel like they're gonna always, and it's gonna be easier if they're in public or something for another man to come up to them and show them something they haven't been getting, and it's gonna make them emotionally want to deal with that man. So I think for when it comes to women, literally it's the emotional part. It's like when a man is not being there for you and you just try. And I really feel like it takes a lot for a woman to cheat. A good woman. It takes a lot for her to cheat. You got to be not doing something. But yeah, so I think on the opposite sex side, women cheat because their man is just not emotionally there for them. They're just not doing what they need to be doing. But okay. All right. Now I'm asking.
Oh, so I didn't know we were breaking it down. I didn't know you wanted us to break it down like females too. Well, I guess you did say people, so I just naturally think men.
But if you want to.
But yeah, I agree with what you said pretty much. So it's a red flag when a guy says that my girl cheated on me type thing. But
not saying you haven't cheated on you haven't. When someone cheats, do you feel like they deserve a second chance?
Well, let me answer that. No. Sorry.
Okay.
And I'm just speaking for myself. If women want to give a man another chance, go ahead. If a man want to give a woman a chance, go ahead. But for me, as for me, no. Once that trust is broken, it's no coming back. I don't want to come back, and you gotta want to. I guess. I think even if you want to, it still never will come back. So for me, it's no, I'm good. Sorry.
Okay. Hey, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, let me just say this. For me, being a person who has been married before, I think when you're in a marriage relationship, women don't just divorce their husband because their husband cheated. You know, because they have so much at stake, whether it's children, finances, splitting of the properties, and things like that. Now, do I think that cheating is grounds for you to leave the relationship? I do. But normally that's not why people, leave the relationship. And then sometimes you have to understand that sometimes couples cheat on each other, and so it's more or less like when the other one find out that someone has cheated, it's kind of like, well, remember what you did? Kind of like, when Will and Jada came out with everything, it was kind of like, from my understanding, Jada was like, okay, yes, I did this, but I think she said he had did something, but then I think somebody said he never cheated on her, so I don't know. But I think it's more or less one of those things where people don't understand some of the other things that goes on in their relationship that makes a person want to do that. So I would just say for me, I have forgiven a person and went back into when I have been cheated on. So I actually have been cheated on before. I've been cheated on in the worst way.
I'm glad you're able to laugh.
Right.
Well, I laugh because that was so many years ago, and I clearly had to, let go of all of that. But so I'm just gonna laugh and move on. I'm not gonna spill all my business on this episode. I'm gonna get some beans inside. So yeah, I have been cheated on before.
Okay. Now, before I answer, since I get a second chance, I did want to say, okay, since they say my second chance all the time, since they say people make mistakes, does that help in that case though? Because they say all humans make mistakes, like, what I mean?
Cheating is not a mistake. Cheating is something that you want to do.
Right.
Like that whole cheating is a mistake stuff is, I don't know who even came up with that. Yeah.
It's a decision. It's something that you thought about and then you put it into motion. It's never something, because you can always take, and I'm sorry, Ash, I'll talk to you. You can always take that thought in your head, oh, I want to, and you down. So I think that just goes back to that person. Whether or not it's just a character thing, really. When you look at things and you have a person that's just a cheater, then you have to understand that they probably cheated on everybody that they dated. And so they're not going to stop all because they got married. You have to understand patterns that people have. And until people, get together and just do some things and figure out why they do certain things, sometimes people grow up in a household where that's all they've seen. They haven't seen a relationship, so they don't know how to be. Or they'll have other men out there saying, hey, you got to have this girl, that girl, thinking that the more girls you have, the more you're manly. So it's a lot of reasons why, men feel the need to cheat, because sometimes it has been taught by other men on, well, we all do it and things like that. So it just has to be a strong individual who want to go against the grain and be different from what the norm is, you know, has had a good example of a man who does not cheat on his wife. Because there are some men out there that never cheated on their wife and don't like cheating. So, but then there are women that haven't cheated on their husband as well too. And then you just have your ones that have, that's just what they do, you know, so.
So I guess my question would be, where do you draw the line when it's, well, I'm gonna say this, where is the point where, like I said, cheating is just something that you want to do, right? So we can say it's childhood trauma or childhood triggers, or, you know, dad wasn't there or mom wasn't there, for both men and women. Where is that point where it's just like, no, I just wanted to do it? Because if we keep saying like, hey, it was because my dad wasn't there, it was because my mom never showed me, I feel like that's always going to be the excuse, right? So even, you know, if you fix it or recognize that, that's why I was like, it's always just a want. Like, I think we all know at a certain age, like cheating is bad. It's the same way with stealing. It's the same thing with killing.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, it's at a certain point, it's a want.
Yeah.
Just
yeah. And I think it's like same thing with like crimes and stuff like that. Like, yeah, this person it might be a mistake in the end. Like they can look back at it like, yeah, that was a mistake. But in doing it, you ain't turn around then. Like you literally sat there and did it. It wasn't like somebody was forcing you to do that. And even when people say they like cheat when they intoxicated and stuff, I don't even understand that one. Because I feel like you shouldn't even be in those situations.
It's in you because you want to do it.
Yeah, you shouldn't even be in those. If you in a committed relationship, you shouldn't even be in those situations where all it takes is me to drink a little bit and I'm sleeping with somebody. You shouldn't even. I mean, I don't know, but you know, excuses.
First of all, I feel like when you know that you're married, you don't put yourself into situations like that. So let me just give you an example. So when I was married, I remember when I started the divorce proceedings, I still did not cheat on my spouse. I never have cheated in my marriage or anything like that. And even when I was going through the divorce, I see a lot of time people be like, they're going through the divorce and they'll already start kind of chatting or seeing somebody because they know that in their mind, they have left the relationship, but still on paper, they're still tied to the person. I just feel that, well, for me, my experience when I was going through that, because it took me 2 years to get final because he didn't want to sign and whatever. But I did not move on with anybody because number one, I did not want to involve anybody else into my mess because I knew that I didn't really know what was going to go on between me and him. Even though we were divorcing, we were still doing a little back and forth. So it didn't make sense to involve somebody else into something that I may decide, oh, I want to go back to my husband. We're going to stop the divorce or just whatever it was. And then that person is feeling some type of way because, you know, they didn't get kind of entangled into my mess. So I felt that, you know, don't do that. Just wait till things is completely over. And then you have had time to just kind of figure out, you know, what happened and then move on. But I do remember one time I was having a conversation with one of my friends who had always been my friend. One of my friends who we had hung out and, you know, we used to always hang out kind of like my, just like a guy version of a female, how I would go out and do things. We would go everywhere together, meet up with some of my other friends, meet up with some of his friends or whatever. And so one night we were on the phone talking. And so then he let me know that I was he knew, of course, I was going through the divorce and he knew I was at home by myself or whatever. And he offered to come over. And I was so upset with him because I felt like, you're my friend and you know I'm going through a divorce and you want to come over for what? You know, like don't try to use this opportunity to get close to me. And then number two, I'm hurting. And I don't need lay in my bed so that I can get over what I'm going through because that was not going to fix. I am divorcing my husband who I had been with for years. So, no, I don't want you to come. And I dare you say that to me. So I had to let them know very quickly, don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
Because they're offended. And so, you just have to not put yourself in positions for things like that. So you don't go over to nobody's house at those moments and think that you're just going to be, we're just watching TV, because, you may have a vulnerable moment. So you have to be very careful with situations like that when people are married. And then in turn, I am very careful with other people that are married. I make sure that I don't, because I have married friends and things like that. And I make sure I don't ever get in any type of situations with anybody's husband.
Question. So while you were still married and going through the divorce, so if you did talk to someone else, would you consider that cheating?
Yeah, I do. Because I feel like until you are officially divorced and you have signed your paperwork, I feel like if you step out any time while that marriage is still active on paper, like that is cheating. Because even though everything is going, falling apart, I still feel like, me personally, I just felt like I had a duty to myself not to commit adultery at that moment. Even though I was out of the marriage, it was like, but I'm still married. And so I just was not trying to do anything that I felt that would come back and bite me. And then I just wasn't even in the headspace, to be honest with you, because I still cared about my ex-husband at the particular time. I didn't want another man. So it just wasn't an option for me to move on sexually or with a man, because I just didn't desire another man at that moment. I was still upset because my family, what I had pictured for myself, was coming to an end, something that I never. So I was just in a headspace where no other man could have fit in that moment for me. Like it would have been like a Band-Aid. Not even a good Band-Aid, because that's not where my heart was. So no, I didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cheating.
And that's where, and this is kind of a little bit off topic, I'm gonna get back to it though. That's why I'm always afraid to be somebody that's like quote unquote rebound, because of the stuff that just happened before. I feel like you're gonna always be in this, like, no matter how much they be like, I'm good, it take a minute to get over people, especially when you have history with them.
It do.
You cannot get over somebody by tomorrow. I know a lot of people be like, I mean, I know they could be going through it thinking it's just gonna be good tomorrow. It might not be. It really might not be. Like, it take a minute to get off somebody who you've literally been with for years. But they will always be. I know a lot of people don't like to go in relationships asking about people ex and stuff, but I don't know. Sometimes you want to know a little bit about that recent.
I definitely do.
I be want to know how close they are. How, I mean, like, hopefully they just openly tell it, because that stuff right there, that's tricky, because I feel like it's gonna always be, instead of just y'all two, it's gonna be three, because they still gonna be trying to get that person off of them or kind of lose those feelings. But yeah. Oh, well, let me answer the question I asked before. Me, we all the way out. But me, if somebody ever cheat on me, I definitely would not give them another chance, because of the fact that I feel like if you had to do that, then you are meant to be with whoever you want to be with, that other person. Like, there's no reason for you to literally come back to me, because if that person was that tempting for you to sleep with them or do whatever, then that's probably who you need to go talk to. You know what I mean? Like, even if you feel like it was just this one thing, maybe it's something there, because it ain't here no more. Because once you step out, you didn't want me. I mean, I'm being honest. You did not want me.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want me. If I wasn't enough, why would I want you back? I mean, because that's basically it's showing like I wasn't enough. You literally had to go, go somewhere else. Even if, and I know it get tricky when people go through little stuff, and you might be arguing with your spouse, like, we going through it and y'all ain't talking for some, you know what I'm saying? If you can't get through that, maybe y'all don't need to be together anyway. But that right there should not, if y'all are still together, no matter if y'all ain't got to talk in a week, that don't mean you go sleep with somebody if you know you're still with that person. So yeah, me, no chances. I ain't gonna be mad for real. I ain't gonna say that, but I ain't gonna be. I try not to be mad for real. Try not to be mad crazy in there. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely let you go free. So whoever you want to go with. But okay, I got another question.
To answer that two part. I should have answered because my situation is different now. You know, my children, I mean, one's grown and one was almost grown. So any relationship that I would have now, if for teaching purpose only, if that was to happen, and it definitely would not give a second chance, because at this stage in my life, because it's not where I'm trying to hold a family together, anything like that. And then also too, because I'm just a different person from where I was in my 20s, I just wouldn't tolerate that or even want to continue on in a relationship, because I already know that character flaws, like, and I call it a character flaw. You know, a person like that, they're not going to change unless they want to change. And so you can take them back all you want. If they have not learned their lesson and did some work as to why they did in the first place, then you're only accepting somebody back into your life that's going to still have, even if they didn't cheat it anymore, they're going to still just be doing something that's just not honest. So I've found that until people really work on themselves and figure out what's going on with them, people like that, you have to avoid, because you will find that you will find that you have wasted time. So I know that that's one thing that I wish I hadn't done when I was going through the divorce, is do a lot of that back and forth, because that was just a time waster for me. Something that, you know, that happened. But I have two beautiful girls.
Right. Okay. And it's funny you said it, because that's literally kind of going into a little bit. So if somebody cheats, let's say they cheat on you, do you view them, or do you feel like they are a cheater? Like that's their title now. They are a cheater.
That's their title. And I also look at them like, first of all, let me say this. When you're in your 20s and where I was when I met my mate, you don't even, well, at that time, let me speak for me, you don't really know what it is that you're looking for. So you look at these key things. And one of the things that I was attracted to him was he's very smart. I knew he would take care of children or family, because I could see him in that capacity. So all of that looked good to me. I knew he was going to have good earning potential, funny, nice. But what I did not understand is that he just didn't do relationships good. So that's something that from his upbringing and, you know, things he'd experienced in life that he needed to work on, and he never got that addressed. So in my 20s, I didn't know to look that deep at something. Now I know to look at things totally different when I'm thinking about a mate or things like that, because I'm looking at how you've been in the past, how many kids you have, how many baby mamas.
Let me ask you again so you can answer. So, like, well, you was finna answer, but yeah, if somebody cheats, so you say they are a cheater. Like, if they cheat, they are a cheater now.
Yeah, you are, because you're lacking self-discipline. And that's another thing. You want a person to at this point in my age, because I'm older than y'all, you want a person to have self-discipline. If a person don't have self-discipline at my age, man, you finna waste your time with that person, because they too old. They not fixing to change for you. They've been doing it. You gotta know you're getting what you see is what you're getting. So yeah, what you see is what you're getting. And I'm sorry, but you know.
No. All right.
Let's see. So that's a good question, because of course, like, if he cheated on me, then yes, he's a cheater. But what if that was his first time ever just cheating? And then it's like, okay, well, he just cheated on me. But if he moves on to the next person, because you're not going to deal with me no more, right, he may never cheat on her, right? So I don't know. I still just say he's a cheater, though. I'll say
it. Okay. Okay. Well, dang. Okay, I'm gonna just be honest. No, I'm not gonna call him out no cheater. If you cheat on me, I don't see you as a cheater. And it's probably because I probably don't care as much as I should. But I just when somebody does something, I just don't feel like it labels them something like, yeah, like I'm trying to give a good example where it makes sense, but yeah, like of course I know what you like. If you cheat, you are capable of cheating. You've shown everybody that you can do that. But like you said, if they go to somebody else and don't cheat, then that person won't even know them as a cheater. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just, I guess right here, like, but I still would not call you cheater. I don't know. I don't want to. I ain't gonna just put that label on you like you cheated. Okay, you did that. But yeah, I don't think you might not be a cheater. And well, I guess I could just open it up to something else then. In what situation do you feel like in what situation do you feel like people even get like some type of consideration? So okay, like example, like I said, well, somebody say they were drinking or something, or something like that. How do you go about that though? Because to say if somebody literally don't remember nothing that happened and it was just that bad or whatever, how do you go about that? I mean, it's
you better remember. I'm gonna make you remember. But no, yeah, to me, because it's still just there. Like, even I think I can say I've been drunk before, right? So what they say, sober, drunk mind, sober thoughts, or whatever.
Right.
I think that's just how you were feeling. And I'm just gonna go with it. Like, it's no passes. I don't care if you tripped up and kissed the person, you should have tied the shoes up. It just does not matter. Like, that's it. It's no passes. It's nothing.
For somebody who, they took somebody back after they cheated, which of course I know it ain't child, but they took them back after they cheated. What do you feel like it's going to be different about their relationship? Because it's never going to be the same. But what do you feel like is different now? Because they took them back, they cheated on them before. What's different now? Or do y'all feel it would be different?
I can just say, sometimes it takes people to lose you to kind of appreciate you. So maybe that person will probably work a little bit harder on not putting themselves into those situations anymore out of fear of, like, I don't want to lose this person again, and they took me back. But it just kind of depends on what's going on and things that can happen, inside that relationship. So with cheating, it's just one of those things where it's kind of like case by case. It just kind of depends on what happened, why it happened, what you did to lead up to it, as to why you may want to give a person another chance or think that it's going to even be different. But assure you that I know that believe them the first time. When they show you, believe them.
Yeah.
They showing you who they are. You have to believe them and understand that a person's not going to change for you. They're only going to change for themselves. And so believe them. Don't try to, let me see, what's the thing I always say? I'm not fixing to hold nobody hostage. Trying to make them do what I want them to do, when it's not even something that they want to do. If they don't want to be committed to me, they're not. You have somebody who's looking for the same thing that you are looking for and that value themselves and their body. Because you have to understand, if you out here and you think it's okay to, which I think is nasty, to sleep with several people, it's nasty. Okay. but if you think that's okay, and you got enough stamina to try to keep it with several people, and some ain't right with you, because who got time for that? I'm sure one day Julie may want to do something, and then you go home and your wife ready, and then you like, you done brought in every excuse in the book. That's too much to keep up with. And I mean, like, it's nasty. So,
this sounds like Charles and Lucille's problem from BMF. But yeah, I don't think, depending on the cheating part, like if a guy was just in the girl inbox or something, maybe he might change and learn his lesson. Who knows? I doubt it. But physically in the bed having sex with someone like that, top of the line cheating, and you allow that person to come back in your life, I really think that person will do it again.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
you taught them how to treat
you. There you go. So
it was okay.
When I said it's a problem, but it's the truth.
Yeah, it is. Well, I guess like it's hard to speak from it because it ain't happened, but I do think that I think that woman, if it happens to the woman, she gonna always be paranoid. I don't think you gonna cheat on her. I don't think you gonna go home and she never gonna think you're gonna do it again. So I think now y'all finna be in this weird situation where every time before like somebody takes you, she might have thought about it like, okay, maybe, but now that you did it before, now she want to see that phone. Because now she gonna think everybody just calling you, everybody just calling you somebody you cheat with. Every time you go out, she gonna think you cheat with somebody. I mean, it just, I'm not sure how you can knock that. Like, and the same thing with like if somebody rob a bank, every time we in the car, you got that person in the car, you like, I'm going to the bank, don't rob this one.
Right.
Like you just it's just gonna beat up because you like you just showed you capable of it. Yeah, like
let me say this. Guys ain't even that clever. So I want y'all to know that women know when you're doing something. They may not know it right away, but women pay attention to a lot of things. First of all, let me tell you what gives it away or what gave it away for my ex-husband. You get cocky. Like when you can't get your significant other to just say like, you're just like, hey, I don't want you to go out or whatever. And then he just insists on going out when you already expressed to him that, you thought that you were going to do something, you want to stay in. You can't get him to stay in no matter what it is that you're offering. Oh, yeah. He's smelling himself. As my mama said, a dead cat on the line. Okay. Stop, because you can't persuade them. You can't, whenever that person is about picking an argument to get out that house and, you can't stop them. And they get that confidence, that cockiness, and then they ain't harassing you for it. Right then, hey, something else out there that they run into because they acting a little different. So to me, that's that telltale sign is when they get that cocky confidence. It's like they don't care, because most of the time men always want to make sure that their woman is okay. They don't want their woman mad because they think to them later, like, when I come to the bed, I want her to turn over. So they don't want to create nothing, no friction. But when they don't care, it's some friction there and they ain't trying to smooth it back over. They like, okay, I'm finna still go out, baby.
Somebody else. That's true. And I just don't see how, and granted, I've never been married. And I've been in a lot of situationships. But all of that, even us talking about it, is just making my brain I cannot continue just to keep running up behind people. Let me see your phone. Where you going? All this. I just cannot do it. At a certain point, the first time, even if I have to ask, which I won't, even the thought of me thinking that I have to ask is dead. It's just like, I can't. It's too much anxiety. It's too much energy. I'm like, I could be putting this energy into something else. Like,
literally yourself crazy trying to do that. So that's one thing. My husband in another state when we were kind of when our marriage was going bad and stuff like that, because he had got another job. But I never drove there trying to catch him doing anything. I just was not going to do that. I don't care if you were my husband. I'm not going to let you to a level where I'm trying to figure out what you're going. I'm the type of person, I'm not just going to go through your phone. I'm not going to do all that. Now, however, I did have an incident where his phone rang like 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, who is this?
Hello?
Now, I will say,
that's a hotline.
Okay, your phone around 2:00 in the morning. I asked you, he was like, oh, this is something. I said, oh, okay. I went back to sleep. That next day, he in there sleeping. He was sleeping good. I said, oh, I said, little buddy sleeping. I said, well, not a care in the world. Oh, and there go his phone. Let me his wife. Let Latasha see on this phone. Let's let Latasha see who's calling her husband at 2:00. The phone. Got in my car and drove off.
I'm so weak.
Right out that phone.
Yeah.
I gave fully knowledge, boy. Oh Lordy.
And I do think it will, like, that's, like you said, that's the thing where when you see those signs, that's why I don't, when you see signs, I know some people be like, I ain't gonna trip over it. No, these days especially, you see a sign, you better take it as the answer.
Run for the hills.
I'm talking about you better take that sign and you better just go with if you got a good feeling like something ain't right or my partner out here doing something else, sometimes you just gotta go with it.
You know, because they'll start doing some little things that just don't add. And for me, I'm one of those praying partners. So I've always prayed about things and I'll never forget, y'all. Let me tell you something. Do not, I repeat, unless you want to know something, do not ask.
Don't ask.
Show it to you.
That's for real.
And not be his favorite girl. Okay. I'm not a girl. So I asked him, I said, hey, Lord, I'm tired. I was like, Lord, I want to know. I was like, I want to know what it is. Show it to me. I promise y'all, I did that on a Thursday. I got to Nashville on a Saturday. Sunday, I saw one thing. When that Monday came, baby, I had it all. I prayed about it Thursday. Got to Nashville on Saturday. I saw my ex-husband, boy, he's funny. But anyway, I ain't gonna do him. But anyway, so I saw one thing on that Saturday. And then he went on to work. And on that Monday, I saw everything. And so I called him. I said, hey, I see something. And I asked him about it. And I said, I will be filing for divorce when I get back home. And that was it. That's what I said. And I did it. I got back home on a Monday. I filed for divorce on that Friday. Because I had to go to work. And I had to set up an appointment to find me an attorney. So I found me an attorney. I was referred, I forgot who, one of my cousins. She told me one of her friends who she had used. And I called him and I filed. And started proceeding.
I do believe signs are shown right there at the beginning when they walk in the door, and it's just like and feelings. But I told you mine usually come in dreams. Don't let them dreams play with you, because it don't be lying. I'm telling you. But I would say mine is like dreams. And then just feelings, like you just know. And that goes back to, I don't know, I can't remember what episode it was, but when we talked about the detachment part, I may still be talking to you, but mentally I am gone. I might do the same. You still can come over. We still hang out, but I already have the exit plan in my head. I just need to find that day. Whatever day that is, it's coming though.
And I think, and I always say it's crazy, and I be seeing stuff and I don't be wanting to see it. And I always tell people that they really don't believe me. Like when I say I never really look for nothing, but it always show up to me. Like, and I just be like, dang. Like it literally, I'm telling you, like every time somebody did something or I see this acting funny, and what I do is I don't necessarily, that don't mean I'm gonna stop telling you tomorrow, but I got it in the back of my head. So as soon as you do it, I already expected it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't even set myself up like everything good. If I see something, it's just there. It ain't gonna, every time I see you, I'm gonna think about that. And it's crazy, but that's just what it is. Like once I see that bad thing, every time I see you or like something funny, every time you do something, I'm gonna think of it. That's just what it is. And it's crazy. It just always comes to me. I don't never look for it. It just always, it pop up to me. It be in the weird ways. Like it have been times where I done literally like, I'd have been talking to somebody and all I gotta do is I just go on Twitter just one day, just going, and then I'd be like, you said you blocked them, but why you interacting with it? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I just be like, I don't say nothing, I don't trip about nothing. I don't even give you time to try to, you know what I'm saying, come up with nothing. I don't give you time. I don't even say that. I just be like, it's in the back of my head. I'm gonna let you think don't nobody know. I'm gonna go on, and then when it actually blow up, I already expect it. I mean, you just can't lie to me now because I've seen it all play out. But yeah,
my friends always be like, why won't you say something? I'm like, for what?
Yeah,
you can't lie. It's so many, like, even in situationships where I could just bring up stuff like I've been seen, heard, and I just keep quiet. Ain't no point in saying nothing. We ain't together.
Yeah.
Let me stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
But yeah, so it is what it is.
And let me ask you this, since we do have someone who's been married, type, what is, I know cheating to me is on the same level in some ways, but do you think it's worse when someone is cheating on somebody when you're just in this like boyfriend, girlfriend, or that marriage? Because in marriage, you literally sitting up there, I ain't gonna say signing your life away, but like it's official. A marriage, you're supposed to be building up to that. So is it different levels to it? Because you cheating at two different stages of y'all, so is one, I ain't saying one better than the other, but is it worse when it, married? Or is it the same?
Say this, it's the same. Like those emotions you're having, those are the same. So it's gonna hit the same in real. But we'll say this: when it is your husband or your wife, you're like, oh my goodness, because it magnifies, because you're saying to yourself, now I said I do to this person, and you mean to tell me that my person did me like this? And this is something that I've always, this is how I love. First of all, I'm a loyal person. I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize a relationship with anybody that I care about, whether it's a boyfriend or girlfriend, or if it's a marriage. So here's the thing I always say. If you know that you really care or you really love somebody, then you need to not put yourself in a position where you can lose that person if you really cared about him. So I also used to say that my ex-husband did love me, but he didn't love me the right way. And I say that because he should have never jeopardized, because I'm just not going to air him out today. I don't feel like I'm giving him a little grace today. But when I say he went left in our marriage, he went left in our marriage. So you have to understand that some things that you can do, you'll just go so far left that you cannot reel that thing back in. And I can boldly say this, is that when I tell you, you've been searching for another me, and you ain't gonna find me. So you will marry me today. And I'll say that to his face if he was right here. So here's the thing. If you know that you really care about a person and things like that, don't let nothing, get you outside of your home, because I promise you, you're going to regret it. And you'll find yourself spending years and years trying to get back what you had when you should have acted right when you had it. Because what happens is, and in my case, is that the person that he's trying to go back to, I'm no longer that person. I'll never be that person again, in terms of the loyalty and things. Not to him, I wouldn't. I'm still a loyal person, but what he's trying to recapture, I'm just not that person anymore. So I always say out there for the people who are into a new marriage or whatever, if you really care about a person, don't mess up so bad that person have to leave you. Like they can't undo, like you'd have messed it up so bad that they just couldn't. Some things you can't undo. And it just destroys everything that you will ever have. And even if you try, because we have tried, it just could not be erased. And so you have to understand those things and people will see us sometime out, we used to go to vacation together and things like that. And they'll be like, oh my God, y'all don't want to try. Girl, no. A whole bunch of times I don't want to ever do that again. If it's just me and him, and the bum is of the bum. No, the bum. I'm just
yeah. And it made me think too about how cheating can turn into something deadly too. I hope I said that right. But as we seen maybe a few days ago, where the female shot her boyfriend, in front of kids and in front of her mom. Yeah, her husband. You're right, her husband. For cheating, at least that's what, because we don't really know what really happened. But at the same time, it's that just shows you how cheating is something that is.
Yeah, it hit in the worst way. Yeah,
it will for certain
really
people.
do.
Some people are obsessed with people, possession. Even when you're married, I think you have to understand that they're their own person. Like you cannot, if he want to go, let him go. Don't.
Goodbye to
He's
you.
packing his stuff.
Yeah.
He was literally saying, "I'm just trying to get my stuff. Let him get his stuff and let him go on by his business. Don't let that anger take control of you. Yes, I know easier said than done. Don't shoot the messenger. All I'm saying is just let him go.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. It's really not worth it to step outside of yourself trying to hold on to a person who afraid you. I mean, like
you find a losing fight. I always think you find a losing fight. Because even if you get them back, it ain't gonna be that person anyway. So it's just,
you gotta love yourself in a way where you just don't allow nobody to do you like, and you have to remove yourself. When you bring to the table, you know that you're a good person and things like that. You got to know that it ain't just one person that you'll ever be in love with. So I'm sure you can find someone else that, has better values, better morals, and decency about themselves, and that knows how to interact with a faithful, loyal person, presented to them. So
and I think that shows you how bad it is, how somebody can literally sit up with you and let you, and I feel like, a lot of people, it's hard for them, a lot of themselves to become so vulnerable with somebody and just give them everything. So you let somebody give you their all, and you would literally throw it away for one little, I'm gonna say, release.
Ew.
It ain't just these men sometimes having affairs. They have affairs for years.
Oh yeah, it be with them.
One night stand or just something. They will get into a full-blown relationship with the person. And let me tell you, so I met a person, one of my friends introduced me to a person that shared some experience in their marriage. And so the guy told me that he cheated on his wife for 7 years and she had no clue.
Man.
And I think to myself, I said, you think she didn't have no clue? She may not have enough evidence. But I'm sure at some point she probably, because I'm sure he didn't
gonna see something
with her. She probably figured out something. She just didn't have enough information to come out. But I remember the same person, his wife cheated back on him, and he about to go bananas. But it's like, you cheated on your wife for 7 whole years. So do you actually think that what you put out there in the universe wasn't gonna come back and bite you in your tailbone? Come on. The energy that you put out there, baby, is coming back. And it's gonna come back when you least expect it. And then guess what? It's whipping his tail right now. So be careful. And let me just say, with my ex-husband, he didn't have relationships. I didn't give him relationship advice. He didn't give me relationship advice.
With this, and that's why when I think about people who are married, who cheat and stuff like that, like I'm sorry, I think about the stupid stuff. But I just be like, I spent all this money on it.
I be thinking
all this time and invited all these people out here, and you literally gonna throw it away for something that's and I look at it like this: when people cheat, you do have those relationships where like you lose feelings with people and it just ain't what you thought it was. You know what I'm saying? Like when you can really sit down with somebody and just be like, I don't think it's working.
Right.
I think that's better than going and cheat on somebody. Like if you feel like, it just didn't happen for y'all. Stuff happened. Like if it ain't when your person, then when your person. I think it's just more respectable to go and tell somebody like, we probably it just ain't working. I don't feel like now it is hard to do. You to have children and stuff, but you sit down with somebody and be like, it's just not working. I don't, y'all can see y'all really don't click like y'all thought y'all did, and those, jitters and all that stuff go away. That's different. I feel like that is what you do rather than go and just cheat on somebody. Like it's so hard not to do. I don't know how so many people. I guess it's hard not to do as easy as it is to do. But I think about stuff like that. Like we waste all this money on this wedding. I'd be mad. But yeah.
One of the things that I wanted to say too about cheating that I didn't really touch on earlier is that I wanted to know, like, why do people cheat? I think some of the reasons why people cheat is anger, low self-esteem, lack of love for that person, low commitment. Sometimes it's a need for variety. Sometimes people just feel like they don't want to just date one person. They want to experience other things. So I think for me, you just think about, I'm thinking about this low commitment. If a person's not committed to you, yeah, they're going to cheat because they're not all the way in to what you're doing. Not like say like on a marriage. Of course, a marriage is all the way in, but just say like some of these relationships, and in our culture right now, people don't really go through all those stages of getting to know people the right way and things like that. It's more like a situationship or more like, okay, just kicking it. I like your company type of thing. So of course people are cheating because one person think they go together and the other person is like, no, we don't go together. And so they're just seeing multiple people. So I just wanted to put that out there, about cheating.
Okay. Thank you for your lesson.
Oh,
let's talk this Haley spot. Get out of the way. I'm just playing. We just want to ask you a question. You ever been cheated on?
Not that I know of.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. What you gonna do if you do get cheated on? Then what?
You gotta stay in the camera. Oh, crazy. How person I am, it ain't gonna be good. Well, I'm gonna tell they mom. I'm like, you raised a peon. All right. See you later.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you.
Yeah, she got kicked out for saying peon.
Okay, well, since this week we talked about cheating, well, I'm going to make my last remark about cheating. I don't know, but y'all make our last remark positive. Mine ain't. Let me tell y'all, these people, so I'm going to do mine. People out here, you cheating on folks. Why you doing it? Break up with that person. Tell that person you don't want to be together no more. I promise you it's going to be okay. Nobody told you you're going to be born on this earth to have, what you call the relationships, polygamous, though. You know what I'm talking about. Ain't nobody tell you you can have two girlfriends. Ain't nobody tell you that's how it's going to be. You too entitled. Ain't nobody tell you can have two people. Literally, right. If you with somebody, stop saying you committed to somebody and you ain't. Stop leading people on. If you want to be with somebody else, go be with that person. It is not hard to literally tell somebody I don't want to be together no more. It's not working. Yeah, they're going to take it hard, but that's better than you going to cheat on them because they're going to take that worse. So people stop cheating on folks with your
the other way.
Stop doing this. Stop doing it. Whichever way. Stop doing that. Stop cheating on people. Just break up. It ain't that hard. That's all I got to say though. Treat people better.
So I can put it in a text sometime. I'll be like, "What your cheating ass?" Say in terms of cheating, that all I have to say now is that fumble me if you want to. That's your loss because I'm real. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that many. With all these bad people in the world, when you find yourself around greatness or just somebody that's nice, like all three of these people on this podcast right here, you don't fumble us because, baby, you ain't finna find nobody as loyal and the way we move. So I'm just saying, when you seriously though, when you fumble some people, you lose. They don't. Because you just fumbled yourself out of a good person. You fumbled yourself out of sometime a person that's praying on your behalf. You fumble yourself out of a person who really care about you, and that's not looking for you about what you drive, what you got, or what type of money. You fumble yourself out of a person who just like being around you. They don't want nothing but your time. So fumble me if you want to. Just know you're fumbling a good person. So I'm gonna let you have the rest of these people out here that's and let me just say this, because I be talking to other guys sometime and other women. They say the way these people move out here who's like really actively dating a lot, they say, when you're around a good, kind-hearted person, because the average woman and men, they moving so shady out here, whereas they're, texting you at 11 o'clock. No. You need to call. You need to talk to me. Like, don't just text at 11 o'clock. That's shady. And then you'll have some women will say stuff like, oh, I want to come see you, but I ain't got gas money. See, when you're dealing with people like that, that's shady. So fumble them. Fumble somebody that every time you say, hey, can you come over? She need gas money. Or she want her nails done. And not saying that women shouldn't say things about them, but she's letting you know what's important to her. It's not spending time with you. It's about the money that she's going to get out of you for spending the little time that it's a service. It's an exchange, So if that's what people are accustomed to out here, then they don't understand when they're around greatness who are not asking for stuff. They feel threatened and stuff because they're like, oh my gosh, she ain't begging. Why? Because I got my own bag. I don't need yours. That's not what, an independent woman, that's not what we're looking for. We ain't looking for your money because guess what? We got our own money. We're looking for you to come into our life and be an addition, to think of ideas and plan things. In my stage, it's time for me to be looking at retirement in a couple of years. So that type of thing. So follow me if you want to. That's all I got to say.
That's
and as I love to say, my famous word to a person that phone me, goodbye to you.
Well, I just want to say, just be honest at the beginning. If you don't want to be in a relationship, that is okay. Like, I think it is a lot of people. I think that's probably one of the top reasons why people cheat is because you think you want to be in a relationship, but you don't. And, so I would just say, be honest at the beginning. Let that man or woman know that you don't want to be in a relationship. Let them know at the gate, like, if you're looking for a relationship, you want to be committed, all that. And also too, if that person wants to leave, please let them go. Don't hold anyone hostage, like you say, Tasha, because they're their own person. And also, I know I hear a lot of women say, like, it's hard to move on. I won't meet nobody else like this. You're gonna meet someone better. I promise you that. And later on, you're gonna look back at it when you're in the thick of it, where you just don't know, like, your heart is broke and you just can't understand. I always remember it's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I promise you, when you make it out of it, when you look back, you're gonna be like, what in the who? What would like, you want to slap?
That one.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Just be thankful that person is leaving. Now, if it's something you guys need to work on it, blah, blah. But if he's literally packing his stuff saying, I don't want you, I don't leave, look at it as a blessing. I promise you, don't hold anybody near you, around you, when they telling you what Dr. Lynn say, Judge Lynn. Never let a man tell you he doesn't want you twice.
Right.
Yep.
I ain't gonna let you tell me one time, but twice.
Right.
Never let, and I believe it. So yes, just move forward, be happy, be free. I live it. So
right. And like Beyonce said, to the left.
Everything you own in a box to the
left. Quick goodbye to you.
Right. Well, all right, y'all. That concludes our episode 11. And next week, y'all will see us in 12.
And we'll be talking about what's some of the worst advice that you have received, some of the best advice, and what would you tell your younger self?
Yes.
So I would say comment, like, subscribe, let us know some of the worst advice that you've been given, and what have you done to fix it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, y'all. And stop killer culture. But all right, y'all.